Welcome back from the break. You're watching NewsX. I'm Riyanka Chaudhary. We are talking about NewsX's Fill the Seats campaign. In a big development in the NewsX Fill the Seats campaign, S.O.S International, an organization working for the welfare of PoK refugees in India, have written a letter to Amit Shah to defreeze 24 seats kept for PoK refugees. S.O.S International chief and a regular guest on NewsX, Mr. Rajiv Chunni, has penned this letter. The appeal made by Rajiv Chunni is to conduct elections and allot the seats to PoK refugees.
National organization working for the Pakistan occupied refugees. They have sort of letter to Home Minister for defreezing 8 seats for Pakistan occupied Kashmir refugees. You could see this is the letter which they have written to Home Minister of the country, Amit Shah, and what they have requested and what is their demands. Let's speak to the leader of S.O.S International, Rajiv Chunni. सर क्या चिट्ठी है ये, किसको लिखी गई है, क्या मकसद है इसका?
देखें, ऐसी चर्चाएं हैं कि भारत सरकार पाकिस्तान अधिकृत जम्मू कश्मीर के विस्थापितों को विधानसभा के अंदर कुछ सीटें देने जा रही है। तो हमने कहा कि ऐसा ना हो कि सरकार से कोई गलती हो जाए, क्योंकि ये काम 5 अगस्त 2019 को होना चाहिए था जब हमने रीसेटलमेंट एक्ट लाया, लेकिन छूट गया। अब भी कुछ छूट सकता था, तो हमने मात्र उनको ये याद कराने के लिए कहा है कि आपको पहले से ही जॉइंट पार्लियामेंट्री कमेटी एक रिकमेंडेशन दे चुकी है। उसने भारत सरकार को मैंडेट दिया है कि आप 24 में से 8 सीटें निकाल लीजिए, और इसके लिए अगर जम्मू कश्मीर के कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में अमेंडमेंट भी करनी पड़े तो जल्द से जल्द करिए, ताकि इन लोगों को इनकी एक पॉलिटिकल एम्पावरमेंट हो, ये अपनी बात कर सकें। और यही बात याद कराने के लिए हमने गृह मंत्री जी को ये पत्र लिखा है, और मुझे पूरी उम्मीद है कि वो इसका संज्ञान लेंगे। और अगर कल को इस तरह का बिल पार्लियामेंट के अंदर आता है तो कोई पार्टी विरोध नहीं कर पाएगी, क्योंकि हर एक पार्टी का एमपी था उस कमेटी में जिसने साइन कर कर यूनानिमसली ये कहा था कि ये सीटें इन लोगों को मिलनी चाहिए।
कुल पाकिस्तान के कब्जे वाले कश्मीर में और कितनी आबादी होगी और कितने PoJK के रिफ्यूजी हैं जो इस वक्त आपके साथी जो जम्मू कश्मीर या देश के अलग अलग हिस्सों में रहते हैं, जिनको मिलाकर कहीं ना कहीं इससे ज़्यादा सीटों की ज़रूरत बनती है देना?
देखें, जब ये एक्सरसाइज हुई थी 2014 में, जब पार्लियामेंट्री स्टैंडिंग कमेटी जम्मू आई, तो उन्होंने इन सारी चीज़ों पर विचार किया कि 1/3 लोग यहाँ हैं हमारे और 2/3 वहाँ पर हैं जो पार बैठे हैं। तो 24 में से 1/3 सीटें 8 बनती हैं, इनको मिलनी चाहिए। लेकिन मैं तो ये कहता हूँ, चूँकि आज 8 साल भी बीत गए हैं, ये 2014 की रिकमेंडेशन है, आज 22 हो गया है, तो आज प्रोपोर्शनेटली जितनी आबादी बढ़ी है, 8 के बजाय ये 10 भी अगर करें तो ये जस्टिफाइड है। इसको कोई भी दूसरी पार्टी इस पर उंगली नहीं उठा सकती, क्योंकि ये जस्टिफाइड डिमांड है। और ये मैं नहीं कह रहा, ये पार्लियामेंट्री स्टैंडिंग कमेटी ऑलरेडी एक मैंडेट दे चुकी है भारत सरकार को, और मुझे लगता है कहीं ना कहीं भारत सरकार की नज़र से ये बात निकल गई, या हमारे प्रतिनिधि जो यहाँ से हैं वो भारत सरकार को नहीं बता पाए। इसलिए हमने कहा इस बार हम चांस नहीं लेंगे, हम एक पत्र लिख रहे हैं ताकि वो इस रिपोर्ट को निकलवाएं, और उस रिपोर्ट के सहारे से वो पार्लियामेंट के अंदर उन लोगों को काउंटर कर सकें जो इसको रोकने का प्रयास करेंगे।
You can see this was a letter which they have written to Home Minister of country, and clearly saying that 8 seats need to be defreezed here, which was basically what they are demanding that we had for last many years. And this says that this is now the time has come when this need to be done, because Pakistan occupied Kashmir refugee, they have suffered enough because of they don't have any reserve any representation in the Jammu and Kashmir Assembly. And now after the abrogation of 370, they say that this can be possible if government thinks about it, if government once again allow the people of Kashmir, Pakistan occupied Kashmir in the assembly by doing it. With Anuj Kumar, NewsX, Jammu.
All right, viewers, you heard Mr. Rajiv Chunni speak to my colleague Ajay Jandia. For now, we have a special guest, Ravinder Sharma, Chief Spokesperson of Jammu and Kashmir Congress, to talk with us on this campaign by NewsX. Welcome to the broadcast, Mr. Ravinder Sharma. My first question to you Well, several Congress leaders were a part of the committee formed in 2012, and for the welfare of these, PoK displaced people, it had recommended defreezing of 8 seats vacant for PoK in the J&K Assembly. What do you think of this move?
See, I am myself a refugee displaced person from PoJK from 1947, and I was part of the campaign in the previous government when the Congress National Conference recommended a financial package for the PoJK refugees. And the part of that was that 25 lakh should be given as a relief, one-time relief to each refugee family of 1947, 65 and 71. There are 2-3 categories of displaced people and refugees. One, those who belong to PoJK. There were another category of refugees who were West Pakistan refugees. So, financial package comprised of 25 lakh each family, along with certain recommendations were for the reservation of their wards in the paramilitary forces and in technical professional courses like West Pakistan refugees. Dr. Manmohan Singh government had given 1% reservation to the West Pakistan refugees who did not belong to PoJK in technical institutions all over the country, over and above the intake capacity of each college. So that was a major benefit if that could have been extended to these people also. But the government of India, they promised too much before the 2014 elections to the PoJK refugees and displaced persons. They said that they should get 30 lakh per family at least, and all other recommendations which the Congress made at that time were the highlights of the BJP's commitment. But after coming to power, they have only given 5.5 lakh as an ex gratia leave to each refugee family, and that scheme too has been closed when only 70% of refugees and displaced families have been covered. 30% have yet to get that meager amount of 5.5 lakh also. So they have made false promises. This was also one of the commitment that 8 seats shall be reserved for the PoJK displaced persons if the government BJP comes to power. So they were in power in Jammu and Kashmir, they are in power in Central also since 2014. And in view of that, this demand should be considered because 1/3 of the approximately population from PoJK in 1947, they migrated to India. Mirpur district, Poonch district and Muzaffarpur district, mainly they people are settled in Jammu region, most of them. And although they have the voting right along with other citizens and voters in Jammu region, and I am also displaced person. I was representative in the upper house as member legislative council. There had been numerous representatives in the upper house and lower house. They got elected in the routine manner. As MLAs, they became ministers also, but they were elected in the routine manner along with others in general category. So our demand should be that there should be reservation of seats for them, and they should be elected, not nominated. Because although there are reports, because the Delimitation Commission has made a recommendation, it was the Home Ministry Parliamentary Standing Committee which recommended that this demand should also be considered. They announced the financial package to 30 lakh, but the government of India did not implement that. They only provided 5.5 lakh, which is just a meager amount, and we are still struggling for that. The rest of the amount, 24.50 lakh, 5 lakh, should be given to each refugee family. But they are in no mood to give that funds. Secondly, as far as political representation is concerned, they should give representation, and the refugees, the displaced persons should be entitled to vote for 8 seats or whatsoever quota comes, and they should elect their representatives directly to the Legislative Assembly. Since there is no upper house now in Jammu and Kashmir, it stands abolished. So they should have their elected representatives, not nominated. Nominated representatives are just stooges in the hands of the government. They will pick and choose those people who speak the voice of BJP, who are the members of a particular party, ruling party. So it will not be justice to the refugees or displaced persons. There could be a possibility because in northeast state, Sangha is an assembly constituency where the Buddhists scattered all over the state, they elect their representative. So here also, wherever the refugees are, wherever the refugee displaced people are, they should have the right to elect their representatives, and they shall be elected representatives, they shall have the voice, and they can do it, they can defreeze it, they should consider it and place it before the parliament. The demand of the displaced community should be met.
Right, exactly. So, what do you think that why shouldn't all the 24 seats which have been assigned for PoK displaced people be defrozen, and shouldn't we defreeze the 7 seats that are vacant in the parliament as well?
See, 24 seats have been kept because we believe and we plead at the international fora that since Jammu and Kashmir, entire Jammu and Kashmir is part of India, and the PoJK has been illegally held by Pakistan because they had invaded that territory prior to the signing of instrument of accession with India before 26 October 1947, and they illegally occupied a part of the territory and the people of PoJK. So on that logic, the 24 seats have been kept reserved for the PoJK people. They are not, it is not kept for refugees only. It was for the PoJK because that area is our, those people of PoJK, they are ours, they have been forcibly kept there and occupied by the Pakistan. So on that logic, 25 seats were there earlier, 1 seat was defreezed and as a constituency was created, now there are 24 seats. So 24 seats are reserved. Our plea, the plea of the displaced people from PoJK is that since 1/3 population almost, which was the total population in 1947, has migrated to this part of Jammu and Kashmir, and even some have gone outside because they were settled outside Jammu and Kashmir. So 1/3 of the population migrated. So out of 24 seats, 1/3 seats should be given to the displaced community from PoJK. So on that logic, these people are demanding, and the political parties too are supporting, and that is the reason that 1/3 population should get, and they will represent the PoJK, that they will plead the cause of India, that that territory belongs to India and the people of that territory, 1/3 people are in India. So I think this demand should be seriously considered. They should call an all-party meeting, they should go for such a reservation. But my viewpoint and the viewpoint of my party would be that they should be elected representatives, and they should carve out a formula like Northeast to allow the refugees, displaced persons from PoJK to elect their genuine leaders and representatives to represent their voice in the assembly.
All right, Mr. Ravinder Sharma, thank you for joining us on the broadcast and giving your views on that.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.